Hey, hey, hey. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Sorry, we're a little bit late. We actually had some technical difficulties. Um, let's see. Can you see me? Let's make sure that we are on air. Let me refresh the screen. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I don't know if you see, but I've got a friend with me. Yes, has the event? Yes, we have started. So can you guys hear us? Let me make sure. I know you're like,
Screen.
oh, there it is. Perfect. Yes, we are here. So tonight we're here. Good. You can hear and see both. Good. So tonight we were supposed to have a friend of mine. Her name is Carrie Pink, and she is a mother of 5. And Carrie with a mother of 5, you have to know how to budget. So Carrie was going to come on. This is a better view. Let me see. What's a better view for us? Carrie was going to come on. This is better, right? There you go. Carrie was going to come on and she was going to show us how to budget with the family. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and Carrie's computer, I couldn't hear her, I couldn't see her. But I said the show must go on. So, for those of you who don't know, actually you're going to get a really special treat because she never does this. So I'm like, she's all out. I'm like, get in the frame, girl. So this is the infamous Drina Whitfield, a.k.a. the Miracle Worker, a.k.a. my publicist. And so we are currently, actually, if you're watching live, we are actually currently, I live in New Jersey, but which is the East Coast, but we're all the way on the West Coast in California because I'm here to tape a national commercial. And also I'm doing Good Day Sacramento. Yes. So Drina, I was her very first client. And Drina, from the very beginning, one, has been a supportive friend, but really has worked miracles with my brand. I mean, I've been on, let's just name some of the things, right? I've been on Today Show.
Good Morning America.
Good Morning America.
Essence. MSNBC. Do you say Today Show?
Yeah, wasn't I just on PBS? I've been in
The Real.
The Real, yep, The Real.
Yeah.
Right, New York Times.
Ebony. Black
Enterprise. Honestly, any newspaper or magazine or TV show that you probably have picked up and read, I've been on. And so because Carrie couldn't be with us, we're going to reschedule with Carrie, so don't worry. You're going to have your money-saving tips from Mom. We're just going to work out the technical difficulties. Roland Martin. Look at Caliente Queen.
Yes, Caliente. You keep us on point.
So I thought, you know what? The show must go on. Just because we had a little bit of technical difficulty doesn't mean you're not going to get value today. So instead of money-saving mom tips, how about we do, so many of you I know right now, if you're watching live, right now there is an intensive going on of how to start a home-based business. So I thought, wouldn't it be great if, because I have my publicist here with me, and honestly, to do a one-on-one consultation for half an hour right now, we won't say how much it is, but it's not cheap with Drina. So I'm like, oh, girl, you can get on here on tape with me. And she said, yeah. So I thought, would it be a great, great moment for us to ask her questions, like, how do you, one, build a brand that people in the media are going to care about? And then how do you get on these media platforms? Honestly, Drina works her magic. That's not my forte. So is that something that you guys be interested in for us to talk about? So I want you to start asking your questions in the comments. So first, Drina, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you went to school, that kind of stuff, so they get and make sure, start asking your questions in the comments so she can answer them. Like I said, if you're just joining us, Carrie Pink of Money Saving Moms, there's some technical difficulties, but my best friend Drina, who's also my publicist, is here. So she's going to talk about how to build your brand and how to build a brand that the media is going to want to spotlight. So where'd you go to school? She said, yeah. Look, everyone's like, yes, how with brand.
I'm so confused though. I don't want to see
it's a delay. Well, it's hard because we got to look at so don't look at that.
Okay.
So I'll roll it up a little bit so you can just look at the comments.
Okay, there we go. So hi everybody, my name is Drina. I am CEO of Whit PR. We are a boutique communications firm in New Jersey. I literally started my company in my living room. I went to college I went to Lincoln University, the #1 and first HBCU. I studied communications with a business administration minor, and then went to Seton Hall to get my master's in strategic comms. I started actually in college with the communications angle. We had a production studio on site, so I got to dabble in TV, journalism, radio, and I've always had a passion for telling stories since I was I don't know,
Mhm.
in like middle school. And that's where I kind of just led to go into PR.
So somebody asked a question already. Where did you intern? Did you have internships?
I did. I actually interned at the whitest of white organizations in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, at the Girl Scouts of Valley Forge. I worked in their communications and PR department. And then I graduated college and was kind of like, just like, let me get a job. And I got a job working for a like nonprofit in Jersey City doing marketing and communications, really hitting the ground running and getting my feet wet, trying different aspects of comms. And that's where I fell in love with PR.
So quick question. So, well, not quick question, but like I said,
yes, Chiquita, give me some cookies.
Shout out to the Girl Scouts. So like I said, if you're just joining us, we were supposed to have Carrie Pink. She was going to give savings ideas for moms. We had some technical difficulties, but I'm actually in California right now, taping a national commercial, TV commercial for a big financial brand. And then while out here, Adrena has also gotten me placement to do a segment on Good Day Sacramento. Mm-hmm. So one, what would you say, because Adrena gets a lot of requests for people who want to work with her, right? And so, that's good. So we'll ask this first. First, what would you say is the number one mistake that a business owner or brand makes when trying to get media? Like, why is the reason why they're not getting it? What are they doing wrong?
A lot of times, no like disrespect or anything to any small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, but you don't really have a focus. So like a lot of businesses will come to me and my team like with, we want to get press, we have this, and this happening, and not really understanding like you have to really have one clear focus and one clear goal that we can build an overlying communication strategy for. So for instance, what's her name here? How do I spell it?
Okay. Uh-huh. So how about use me for an example? When I first started, so what was your focus when you started pitching me? What was the focus? Like, what were you pitching like me for, or how were you pitching me?
I was really pitching you as a personal finance expert, okay. Even though like literally we was going by the seat of my pants.
We were just making it up as we went.
But you had a viable product. You had your book. Okay. Remember, this is where you just wrapped the 1 week budget. Mm-hmm. So Tiffany, I had an actual book that was a product that was for sale that a lot of folks were looking for tips from. Mm-hmm. So like everyone needs like personal finance help. Like even if it's down to the basic budget which is where you started. Mm-hmm. And then in your space, it was really a lack of people, in particular women of color, mm-hmm. That were really in this space, sharing those tips, were experts, and that kind of helped with your advantage.
So step one, I remember this specifically. I remember that Adrena was pitching me before, but it wasn't until I had a book that you got my first placement.
Yeah, because nobody cared.
Yep. So that's number one, that you have to have a focus. So one, I'm a financial expert, but it wasn't just I'm a financial expert. I actually have a product now, or a service, something specific that folks can latch on to. All right. So let's
like Martita, she's saying like her daughter gives books to underserved communities. Her and her brothers are working hard to improve literacy here in Georgia. The media is slow to pick up at her efforts.
Why? So what is she doing wrong? So her daughter, what's Marquita doing wrong?
Honestly, Martita, I'm sorry, your daughter, Georgia is a crowded market, just like New York, just like California. Mm-hmm. So out of your daughter's efforts, your children's efforts, like what is setting them apart from everybody else in that state, city, or community that mm-hmm. is giving away books to underserved communities? Because you got to look at it like this. Scholastic gives away books to underserved communities. Mm-hmm. So, how old is your daughter? Is she giving the books away to a certain organization that deals with a specific demographic? Okay. There has to be an angle or a hook that will get folks interested in covering.
So one, have a focus. Two, some sort of angle or hook. So my angle or hook was Black women talking about mm-hmm. money. That was rare. Okay. So you want to make your daughter really stand out, that it's not just folks giving away, folks giving away books. Okay. So Lori, how can you use your story as your brand? This is a great question, Lori.
So Lori, it really is about what is your story. So I have a lot of my experience, I've worked with a lot of great clients that have amazing stories. Mm-hmm. But it's just about the way you package it and you position it and you pitch it, because it's also about timing. Mm-hmm. Like you can have a great story, you can have a great product, but if, for instance, the freeway crashing in Georgia, like happened like earlier this week, if it's not timely, and if something such as breaking news interrupts your pitch or angle or takes over the news market, you're going to have a hard time cutting in. So really, what about your story makes you and your brand unique? You have to figure that out.
Okay, so one, you want to be have a focus, right? Then you also want to have a hook, and then you want to have a timely story. I think one of the reasons that you were successful with me is that it was around the recession time when you started. Like it was like post-recession, so people were open to financial stuff. Like how long before the Real said, okay, how long did you pitch me to the Real before they took me on?
Probably about a year.
A year. So you might think I'm doing something wrong. No, Drina pitched me and then how often did you pitch the Real?
I would maybe go back to them, like I would pitch like, at the top of the month, circle back in about a few weeks and circle back in another few weeks. It's borderline stalking. But you have to be consistent. You have to consistently follow up, and don't follow up on that same pitch. So like if by the end of the month, folks aren't getting back to me about your pitch, I'm going to say, okay, so April is financial literacy month. Tiffany da-da-da-da-da. So figuring out a way to follow up but not seem stalkerish, but also seem relevant. There's a specific mix to it.
Okay, so you have to consistently pitch and then switch up your pitch to make it timely. So if it's financial literacy month, you want to pitch to that. I think what happened with the Real, I think you told me that they were finally like, we want to do a financial segment, and then you happen to pitch them that week. And so you see what I mean? If it's almost like you're trying to sell steak to a vegetarian restaurant, they're not buying. And then the day the new owner comes over and they're like, oh, now we sell everything. And then you happen to come by that day with your steaks, they might buy. So sometimes it's not that you're doing something wrong, you're just pitching to the wrong people.
And that's another thing. You have to make sure you're pitching to the right contact. Don't pitch to Sally, who only covers politics or weather, and you're pitching her a story. And I'm just going to go back to Martita because I don't see any other questions. Martita, don't go and pitch her about your daughter giving books to the underserved communities, because honestly, she's like, that's not my thing. Delete. So
but then that actually leads us to the next one. How do you make contacts, and how does someone say, okay, I've got my story, I've got my hook, I've got my focus, I know it's timely, it's Women's History Month or whatever it is. How do I find the contact for that particular?
So if you're not in the field that I am, and you don't have access to the database that we use, which is Cision, which is expensive, but you're a solo entrepreneur, you're a mom trying to get some press for her kids, what you need to do is watch the TV shows that you want to get your kids pitched to, read the publications that you want your kids or your brand to be featured in, and then also even drill down a little further and say, okay, so-and-so specifically covers financial literacy, or so-and-so specifically covers beauty. Let me go look through her recent stories and what she's been writing about recently, and how I can tie my brand into that.
So, but then how do I know, how do I know what contact? Because how do you know what producer? Before, if let's just say you didn't have Cision before because I remember you didn't always have Cision.
I didn't always have
right?
Cision.
So then how did you find the contact to say, oh, this is the producer?
I honestly, in the beginning when I had no contact, because I literally started with no contacts, no Cision, no nothing. I had magazines where I went through their masthead. I had my TV.
So masthead. So Dre's talking about. I'm gonna show them. Yeah. So go ahead. You went through magazines.
Oh, Chiquita, what you know about Lincoln and Cheney?
So we'll show you what a masthead is, so that way you know. So let's just say you want to get into lore. How beautiful is
how beautiful is this?
So you want to get into so for those of you who are just joining us and who might be like, wait, I thought we were doing savings idea for mom. We had some technical difficulties with that expert Carrie. So I'm here in California. This is my publicist, Drina. I'm doing a national commercial for a financial brand. And also, Drina has also got me booked to do TV while we're out here. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great that Drina can talk to us and teach us how do you build a newsworthy brand? So that's what we're talking about. So this is the masthead.
So just going back to the masthead, this is what the masthead is in your magazine. So it's literally maybe like the 4th or 5th page. And as you can see, it has the different departments and who's under that department. Allure.com, it shows that, let's say, the senior beauty director is Sophia Punch. So I would literally Google her name and try to figure out the email syntax. Like, it's really about research. If you don't have the tools to do it like the way we do it as professionals, you have to be creative, innovative, and even like go visit their social media profiles. Not necessarily saying they'll be responsive to you pitching them on Twitter, because a lot of them won't, but go follow them. That way you can follow their stream of consciousness on Twitter. You can see the things they really care and they're passionate about. And sometimes they'll even have their emails in there sometimes.
Okay. So Sherry, can you ever be too exposed with your business?
I would say no. I mean, it just really depends, right? So like what you want your business to be in the general public. Like for Tiffany, we know she's not going to be on some reality show where they're exposing like the intimacies of her personal life or her, her family. Like it's really completely up to you how far you want your brand to go, what you want to do with your brand. But for me, I would say no, just because I know the type of clients that I have and I know our vision for them in terms of a PR and communications plan.
All right. So Roxanne, how do you choose how to pitch a person brand to a company? So when you're looking, let's just say like, so Drina works with a brand called Puka, and it's natural hair. So, and the owner, her name is Dawn. So when you're looking at Dawn's Puka natural hair care skin brand, how do you choose how you're going to pitch her versus how you're choosing how you're going to pitch me?
Well, I wouldn't pitch Dawn and Tiffany to the same type of publications, because they have a similar audience, but completely different products. Dawn has beauty, like organic body lotion, scrubs, like all natural, and it's amazing. You guys should check her out. And Tiffany is, she's the personal finance expert and guru. So it's really two different demographics, but they both could fit into the same publication.
Okay, but it'd be two different editors.
Two different editors.
Okay.
Like you guys could both be in Essence, that you're both African American women, you both cater to that demographic, but I'm not going to pitch you to the same outlet that I'm going to pitch Dawn to.
Okay. So really about being specific and honing into who specifically is already like sharing your type of product or service. Okay. All right. So awesome. Let's see. Shannon, what exactly is a brand, and is it something you need to copyright or protect in some way? What would you say a brand is?
I mean, everybody's their own personal brand. Like Shannon, I don't know what type of person you are, but your brand may be like loud, crazy Shannon. That's my girl. That's your brand. Or your brand could really be like this specialty drink that's in my cup. It's limeade from Soul Food that we had here in San Fran. It's an actual product or service. But if you're not even, but it can also be a personal brand. Like Tiffany is her own personal brand. She's a personal finance expert, but she also has products that also fall under her brand.
So this is a good one. Okay, so Drina's really good at, and she'll be modest about it, but she's good at making connections. So one of the ways, so it was kind of not last minute that the fact that I'm here in San Francisco taping a financial commercial, right? And Drina was like, oh, you're going that way? Let me start to make some calls and emails about getting you on television while out there. And how many days did that even take you?
It only took a few days, but that's not typical. That's not typical.
But how are you able to do it? So just last week, right? I was on Good Day DC. And so did you use the fact that I was on Good Day, that she got me on Good Day DC? How did you get Good Day Sacramento to say, oh, okay.
Well, you've been on Good Day New York. You've been on Good Day DC.
And I've been on Good Morning America.
Good Morning America. They're all kind of under the same kind of parent company. And I literally just use those past press hits to help, encourage them to have you join.
Okay.
But because you have this, she already has a strong brand, a strong following, viable products. It's timely. People are always thinking about budget, especially as we are ending out tax season. So it's timely. You have a strong brand, a hook, an angle, and a focus.
So when you're making connections, this is what I'll see Drina do. So for example, like I'll be like, when I was at The Real, I'll be, like on stage with the ladies, doing my segment, and I'll see Drina like working. She's always working so for Roxanne asking about making connections. So she's always working the room. So once she gets her foot in the door, so once we get to a television station or wherever, Drina will like figure out who the producers are. Hi, Emily. Oh, how are you doing? Thank you so much for having us. And so she'll give them her card, take their card. She always makes me bring books with me. And then she'll be like, because I have the worst handwriting, she'll write like a little note inside from Tiffany. And then she'll figure out like, what's your mailing address? And then send them cupcakes. Because one, now every time, I'm not her only client, but Drina knows by making, as soon as you get there, you know, one person, get to know the 5 people that are around them, send them something to remember you by. So next time she's pitching another client, then they're either more like, they're like, you know, just the other day, Pix 11 News in New York.
Oh yeah.
Hit Drina up, like, so she's had me on there several times, right? And because Drina really, she preps me for media. So she'll have me practice, do it over, sit up straight, blah, 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 your hair, your nails, all that kind of stuff, makeup, everything, right? She makes sure I'm right. So because the people she brings to Pix 11 always deliver, they reach out to her now and they said, do you know someone that would be great for this segment? Mm-hmm. And so that's the connection. It's that once you get your foot in the door, really making a great impression. So that way they literally come to you, or when you pitch someone, they're like, oh yeah, Drina. Yeah, all Drina's clients are great.
Yeah.
You know?
And I got them 2 clients.
Exactly. And let's see. While working at Girl Scouts, did you learn how to make those connections? Is that what you learned?
No, girl. They had me making photocopies.
So how'd you, because I'm an extrovert. So I'm like the wild one, like, that's not Drina at all. She's more of an introvert, a little bit more quiet behind the scenes. So how, as an introvert, are you able to make these connections without feeling uncomfortable? Or do you feel uncomfortable?
No, I mean, I only do it because it's my job. And at the end of the day, they're making their own connections.
I know, right?
Like, I am an introvert, but I know when I'm in work mode, I'm in work mode. Like you could attest to that, because, you know, and all my friends can. And I know my ultimate goal is to get another client back in that publication, or back on that TV show, or back on that radio show. So my goal is to, you know, I'm there to have you do an interview and for you to tell your story and build your brand up a little bit further. But I'm also there to make my own connections.
So you're always thinking about, how can I connect? So whether it's a networking event, whether it's, I've seen Drina make connections at like a Subway shop, you know, when she finds out like, oh, you own, like, I've seen you, who's the owner? This is really cute. You own this shop. You know, I do public, you know, and you just never know where your next client is going to come from. And you never know where your next publication is going to come from. All right. So Roxanne, do you travel with all of your clients?
As part of our contracts. They have to cover my travel if I book them if I book them for media interviews outside of, you know, my tri-state area market.
So we both live in New Jersey. So, but yeah, so Drina's out here, and yeah, so she travels with her clients.
I do.
Yeah. Which, what's so great about that is, not all publicists do this, but she also does media training. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that. We'll take some more questions. So what if you finally are like, yes, I did land on TV and I want to be invited back? What are some of the tips that you give me when I'm presenting myself so I can be like media ready? So
one, you have to be calm.
Yes.
Y'all know Tiffany likes to talk, child. And
y'all be like,
and she'll go at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're in a 3-minute segment and you have a load of information that you need to get into that segment, in addition to interacting with the anchor or the host and answering any questions, you have to go into that interview knowing, okay, at the end of the day, I need to get this specific bullet, this specific, you know, talking point out. So
pick like at least 1 or 2 major key things that you want to get out for yourself.
Yes.
And practice them.
And practice.
In a concise manner.
In a concise manner.
Okay.
You know, and don't try to have long-winded responses. Have them very succinct and straight to the point.
And then 2, like,
don't show it in your face that you're nervous.
Yes.
Or like,
I mean, it's hard. That part is hard. But Drina, like, for example, I mean, like, I'm not really like a makeup girl, but, you know, we have like
ready.
Right?
Come ready.
Come ready. You could, especially if you're brown, they might not know how to do your face.
They're not going to know how to do your face at a lot of these places. So, you know, either if you can't afford to have a makeup artist, you know, you better know how to beat your own face and not beat it like, girl, I look cute. We going out. No, you need to really know how to have a TV ready face, meaning like your makeup will be on a lot heavier than this, but you want it to look natural. And then, you know, you have to dress a certain way to like.
What are some colors and stuff? Or not just colors, but like, so really like better to stay away from prints and more so solid colors.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? The simpler the better.
The simpler the better.
Keeping your makeup, your
earrings, your jewelry very simple because you don't want it to distract from what you're coming to tell.
All right. With so many people getting into the all natural thing, will you need to be really creative to push your brand to stand out from others?
Honestly, I would say no. I think if you have a it's all about the product at the end of the day.
Mhm.
You know, not for nothing, my client Dawn, she's been in business for 16 years.
Mhm.
Her packaging is not the great. We're rebranding. It's going to look fabulous. Y'all get into it. But what has been successful with her brand is the product is amazing. It's amazing. It's like, you know, I get dry skin.
Mhm.
You know, you have, you know, eczema
I do.
sometimes, and it's like amazing. So that's what really has helped contribute to her brand.
So
Not being overly creative with marketing or social media or anything like that.
all right.
Look at that. Somebody's addressed me.
Let's see. The Barbara Walters School of Dressing Before Camera. Let me see. How do you learn to teach your clients? How did you learn to teach your clients about media training? We'll scroll up.
Okay. I kind of learned on the fly, and I'll give you guys a little bit of my background. I worked at a nonprofit fresh out of college in Jersey City. I then worked in American Express doing event planning and direct marketing. And then I worked at an agency in the city doing direct marketing and copywriting. Press, you know, I really didn't have any experience doing that, like for real. And I was trying to get jobs in PR while I was working. And, you know, the only jobs that were being offered to me were internships with little, you know, young white girls. And that's nothing against them because I love them. But I had to learn on my own. And then I left my company to start my business and, you know, being really naive, like I could do this. People gonna pay me. Nobody. Nobody paid me. And so a lot of my training has come from just
On the job.
on the job. And, you know, it's afforded me amazing opportunities. I really honed in on my media training skills though when I worked for Cory. So
she worked for Senator Cory Booker. So she worked with him for like about a year. And so just like being around him and watching him prepare, right?
Well, not even that, like I would have to help prepare, like, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I literally had, you know, examples from people prior into that role, like what we need to develop a one sheet or a briefing doc before each interview, and literally sat with him before each interview and go through that document, and he would answer questions. Some of them I wouldn't know, but it would prepare me for the next time. Okay, I know next time I prep him, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to know. So literally learning on the fly, and I've taken those experiences with him and other, like, because as a result of that, I've worked with other political clients, but him and other clients, and I use that with my current client roster.
So really it's about practice, you know, it's about practice, you know, and watching, because when you're around what's right, you start to acclimate to like, okay, so this is the template of what looks right. And what I love about Drina is that, like everyone else, if I'm on TV, people will tell me like, oh my God, that was so good. Drina be like, cute butt, X, Y, Z. And I know, like, if she tells me I did good, I'm like, are you kidding me? She's like, that was really great. I'm like, because she's not going to say it was great. She'll be like, you tried. But what we're going to do next time is, because I used to say on TV, yeah.
You still do.
I do.
You still do when you feel comfortable, but it's okay if it's in the right audience.
Yes.
Like you did that. I think you did it recently, like on the reel. You like, yeah.
But it was like
that
kind of
okay.
Yeah.
They could do that, but you're not gonna do that
on the news. So that's the thing that Drina, like, so afterwards, practice with yourself, watching yourself and critiquing. So it might be like you need to sit up a little straighter. You're speaking too fast.
Practice in the mirror. Like Tiffany, even though we will practice, I will hear her practicing in the bathroom in the mirror. So you practice in the mirror, so you can even see like, ooh, girl, I don't want to look like that saying that. You can see your facial expressions.
Yeah. So practice, and then watching yourself, critiquing yourself honestly, and then working on the things because I'm not. From where I first started, I've come a long way, but I can still get better. And Drina's always really honest. Like, that was good. I think the last thing I did, you were like, that was good, but you weren't your normal engaging self. And I, you know, so like, but she's always honest about that. So this is a good one. Sherry, where do you get a press kit? Is there a pre-formatted template, or is it offered by a media outlet?
There aren't press kits offered by media outlets, but like media outlets like an Allure or like Essence, they will have their media kits online, but your personal brand would be completely different from that one. However, I will be offering those as templates for folks to.
So Drina has a class. What is it called?
It's like a WIT PR intensive. I do them quarterly, but we're also going to be offering downloadable templates for like the small business owner or solo entrepreneur that wants these tools to try to pitch themselves to media outlets, but can't afford a.
So what I'll do is Drina has like an email list where you get like a freebie
Oh yeah, if you
So I'll add it. Yep. So what I'll do is I'm going to post it in the group once we, are off, but it'll also be added to the Academy along with this video that you'll have her bio, her website, WITPR, WITPR.com. And you'll also be able to get she gives, what is it, 10 tips?
It's like my 10, I can't even remember the infographic.
I know.
But it's an infographic that you guys can download for free with.
I think it's like 10 tips to know that you're ready for a publicist. Yep.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to get things like that, because having a press kit is one of the first ways that Drina used to pitch me. I don't have to do that as much. As you get to be a little bit more seasoned, but in the beginning, you definitely needed it.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't even use press kits now. Like, we have them for internal use for us to use for just having for research, but I like to use one-pagers, and we've been starting to get really creative and develop infographics for our clients that kind of have the same exact information, but it's a little bit succinct and has your press logos and all that, because folks don't want to read a whole book about you. I'm sorry that you may be amazing, but they don't want to read the whole book. Yeah. So the best way to do it now is to give them something simple, something clean, something creative, and with the same sort of information.
So if you're just kind of joining us, this was originally Saving Ideas for Moms, but there was a little technical difficulty. But thankfully, my amazing publicist, Drina Whitfield of WITPR, who never ever wants to get in front of the camera. She was in the bed in the hotel, doing work. I was like, you look cute. Want to get on camera? And she said yes. Thank goodness, because honestly, you're getting a real treat and jewel here. Because just to sit down, just to sit down with Drina to ask if you could possibly work with her costs money. Because she's getting constantly, always people are asking to work with her as a result of the success she's had with her clients. So to be able to be here and ask questions is really awesome. So don't hold back. If you have a question, ask, if you're watching live. All right, so Roxanne says, this is a good one. Do you concentrate your clients in their local areas first to get the word out about their product or brand?
Yes. It's always best to start local. Getting press for your product, brand, or service, because you need to build a home base and a home following, and that in turn will help you secure maybe some national press. It's also great practice for you, because there's no way homegirl right here could have ever done Good Morning America or The Real or anything national that you guys have seen on without doing News 12.
Yes.
Which is our local, hyper local. They ain't got a budget for hair and makeup over there.
They're like, girl, you gotta bring a brush because we don't have it.
Yeah, and even it'll help you craft your story and see okay, what you really want to share with the press, what things you really want to go on and talk about. Even, we started with Dela Cruz and even the Star Ledger,
which is our local newspaper. But even smaller podcasts. Remember, we just had clients before that have not wanted to do smaller podcasts.
They don't discount small podcasts because those have legs. And when I mean legs, they have longevity. You could even Google one of her older ones and it'll still pop up. And that may be introduce you to her brand, because those things have a life cycle and they keep going and going. And it may introduce you to a new customer, a new partner, a new follower, a fan that may not have known about your brand. And so don't discount those.
Drina would have me do the podcast. Somebody might say, I'm just starting a podcast. I'd love to have you on, especially when I was first starting, because it would be a place for me to practice. Because, so I'm doing a podcast, maybe they've got 100 listeners, right? And so if I wasn't perfect, it was okay, let me tighten up my story. So I would literally do, I remember at one point you had to do almost a podcast 1 or 2 a week, but then I got really good at telling my story.
And the thing is, it's so unfortunate that people, they really don't value those these days, because everybody wants instant success, but that's not the way to build a buzz about your brand, or get you really ready for the national press.
Okay, let's see. What recommendation? This is Fusion Fit and Well. What recommendations do you have for getting a publicist or someone to help you book conferences, media, keynotes, workshops, and events? Thank you for asking this question.
Because we don't do that.
I was just gonna say that. That's a misnomer, right?
Yeah. Honestly, we can do it. Don't get me wrong, but
because for example, Essence, Drina worked on it. She knew that.
And honestly, y'all think Essence happened like this? Essence has been going on for 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
So we can do it, but if you're hiring a publicist, you really want your publicist to go in and get you press, because that's our goal. I have a client now who that is part of our scope of work for her, but for
the main scope of work
is press.
So your publicist job really is not to book you for conferences, media, workshop. Now, sometimes as a result of you getting press and then working with you, you get those things, but that is not her main purpose. Like Drina knew that I wanted to speak at Essence Fest so badly, you know? So while she was getting me booked inside of Essence, meaning like, you know, they did a story or a quote or whatever, she would massage that part almost really like as a favor, not as part of her scope of work. And so as a result, I got to speak at Essence Fest, but that is not Drina's like main focus. And I think people think publicists do that. No, Drina's job is to get me in media. And what happens is it's you and your brand and your team's job to use that media to get those speaking, because as people see you, they're going to want you to speak at their conference.
And also here's another thing. You have to go as hard for your brand as you want your publicist to go hard for your brand. Like, you know, I have my lane. Like my team and we have our focus of, okay, you're our client. We know our focus is to get you here, 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 for you to do this, this, and this. That's our focus. Your job should in turn be to try to get yourself out there I'm sorry, I was being questioned. To get yourself booked for keynotes, conferences, or workshops, because, you know, that's where the marketing end comes in. It's not necessarily the press.
Yep. So, okay. So Fusion Fit, just to follow up. So how do you get a publicist?
I mean, you just reach out to them. People reach out to me on Instagram all the time. I don't necessarily see their messages, but you go to their website, you fill out this like contact us.
You go to witpr.com and you click contact me and see if she will take you on your roster. I mean, but honestly, that's what you do. You Google, but Drina's website is WitPR. But you want to make sure, that's what I love about it. So on your website, is there a place for me to sign up for your email list so that way I can get the...
No, we're merging the two now.
Okay,
my site is getting redone, but what you can do now is go to the prmommy.com.
That's where you get it.
Yeah, and that's where you
So you go to the or PR?
The PR.
So theprmommy.com. If you go to theprmommy.com, you sign up for the list, you'll see it there at The PR Mommy, that you can get the top 10 tips to see if you're ready for a publicist. It's free. You'll get it directly sent to your inbox, right?
As soon as you sign up.
So go to
I'm not going to spam y'all.
Yes. So go to theprmommy.com to get your freebie. But that's going to be, because you might not be ready for a publicist. And the good thing is that once you're on Drina's email list, you know, when she starts to have classes, to just see, I always say this, you know, dip your toe in. And you might take one class of Drina's and be like, you know what, I can do this piece myself until I'm ready. Because, excuse me, before Drina came along, I had to do it myself, you know? And then what it did was it helped our relationship work better because I understood a little bit more. Because I was like, oh, I've done that and I see why I didn't work out. But now I understand what Drina's doing.
And know that it's not going to be, it's going to take time. Like it will take time. Like people think like as soon as you hire a publicist, boom, next week, you're going to be on TV, or boom, like in a few weeks or next month, you're going to be in Essence. Every Black woman loves Essence. Trust me, I do, because I grew up reading it, but it takes time to even get into Essence. Like you have to know, like start small. That's why I'm saying don't discount those podcasts that may have 100 followers or listeners, those online blogs that are maybe just like brand new and startup. Like get as much like small, low hanging fruit exposure as you can get. And then that'll help prepare, like I said, prepare you for the larger press.
And not only just that, but this is one thing I noticed. I was like, wow, when I first got on the reel, when Drina first got me on the reel, we were out there and I was all nervous. And the producer kept saying to me, I know you're going to do great because you've done this so many times. And I was like, what is she talking about? They had Googled me. And what came up? All of the smaller press and podcasts that I had done, hundreds of those. So if you're waiting for that one big thing to be the thing, it's not going to happen, because they're going to look you up and they're going to say you've done nothing.
And honestly, that one big thing may not even turn into like money. Because also people think like, ooh, girl, if I get into Allure or InStyle or on TV or the Wendy Show, I'm about to be bankroll, and that's not it. That's not happening. It takes time. It can happen, but it takes time. Like I said, you have to have that other arm to building your brand, which is the marketing piece and a viable product.
Exactly. Okay, so Mrs. K. Pryor. Hey, ladies, thank you for this forum. You're welcome. I'm a realtor and a hairstylist. How can I brand my services? I really want to build real estate, though. So maybe let's just give her some ideas of what she can do to brand herself as a real estate agent. So
if that's going to be the focus, then that's where you should put all the effort into building your brand. It also depends on what market you're in.
So maybe you might brand yourself. Let's just say you're because you're a woman. I'm assuming Mrs. K. Pryor. So you might, you might honestly, because a lot of the times, as a woman, when we're shopping for certain things, it's easier to work with a woman. So you might not to say you don't work with men, but you gear yourself as a real estate agent for women to make it easier for women. I understand you're a mom. Bring your child along as you look at properties.
And you're looking for a house. So what would you look for in a realtor?
So I'm looking for a realtor for
no,
me.
like if you, I'm sorry,
Mary,
Miss
Carey.
K Pryor. So would you go Google her? Would you go see if she has any social? Because in this day and age, social media is everything. So even if you have a social page dedicated to being a realtor.
To start, honestly, like especially to me for real estate agents, I asked around. People are looking. Yep. So once you get one client, teach them how to be your megaphone. Like I don't if you follow me, there's no way that you don't know about Drina if you follow me on any of my social media platforms, right? Because Drina has taught me how to be a megaphone for her. So when I do something, she has taught me how to post about it and make sure to credit her, and then she gets more clients that way. Yeah. And then she teaches her other clients how to do that. So Mrs. K Pryor, like you can do that. To, like treat your clients awesome, do right by them, then teach them how to share you.
Because remember, word of mouth is still in this day and age everything. I get majority, like 100%, maybe 95% of my clients via word of mouth.
Okay. Let me see what else. Let's see. Caliente Queen. I'm in Philly and wanted to increase my brand for college and career readiness within Philadelphia School District as well as the public. I'm doing that as my side hustles. Caliente Queen, do you have a question? Let's see. Word of mouth is everything. Yep. What would be the first? We said that. What would be the first steps to building a brand? Ms. K Pride, that's a good question. First step to building a brand is to identify what are you delivering, right? What's your deliverable?
Yep.
Right? A lot of people are like,
what service are you offering? What product do you have that you're selling?
Don't be the chicken shack in the hood that sells chicken,
spaghetti,
and they also got gold change in the corner, and you can get your scratch off
and
there.
You can get a white tea.
Yeah, that's real hood. Like, let me get a white tea as I wait for my 5 Ps, right? So one, clearly identifying your deliverable, because even when Drina and I first started our businesses, we were all over the place. Yeah, right. So that's one. It's what do I deliver? Something that you can specifically point to that someone else can repeat back to someone else. So your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So when I explain Drina, it's not hard. Drina Whitfield of Whit PR is my publicist. Not, well, she's my publicist, but she also does, no. She's my publicist. So start with that. Tiffany is a financial educator. Boom. So what is your deliverable? What is that one thing? That is the beginning of building your brand, is you identifying what do you deliver to your audience, you know? And then second, who's your audience? Right. You know, who are you speaking to? Okay. Media training is so necessary. This is Bass 1563. I was on with Oprah. Wow. And I was extra chatty and my part was cut. Oh.
They'll do that.
I got another shot with Oprah and I was ready the second go round. Yes.
They will cut you out. If you if you're talking too much, if you're like you said, extra chatty and you're straying away from the topic, they need to fit their show into a specific time frame. So if you are causing them to spill over, they're going to cut it down.
Yep. So Miss Bass 1563, what were you on Oprah for? I'd love to know.
Why are you asking these questions? You know how to do this.
Right? Why we want to know. Inquiring minds. Caliente Queen. What should I do first with my brand to get more public, to get more in the public and with the district? Okay.
So do you work with the Philadelphia School District? Because maybe that's the first thing you need to do, is try to build a relationship with them, so then they can have you as a vendor that they work with. I used to work with North Public Schools District, and we had a lot of consultants and vendors that we worked with on external things. So maybe start with building a relationship there, but also start in the community. Like, go work with, you know, the nonprofits or your local community center to offer whatever product or service that you're providing for free.
So one of the things you can do, like Drina said, so if you're gonna work in the community, use that to your advantage. Honestly, every time especially in the beginning, every time I used to speak in the community, I would take the money shot, at least one picture of either like me speaking at the podium, or like one shot, maybe an Ellen selfie where all the kids are behind me. And then I would specifically say and like Drina would be like, so this picture, that's cute, but what's happening, right? So I would specifically say in the description, and she would train me to say, like, you know, what was happening. Just finished speaking at Rutgers University to college freshmen, taught them how to budget and save. You know, so people know right away, oh, this is what Caliente Queen does. And then I would say something like, would you like me to speak at your college? Contact me here. And so there's this free service that you can use up to a certain amount of contacts. It's called WooFoo, right? WUFOO.
Yep.
So go to WooFoo, WUFOO.com, and create a contact form. Because if you're telling people like, contact me here, here's my email, that's difficult for people to remember. But if you have a clickable link in your description on Facebook, they can click it and add themselves to your contact form. It literally is like little boxes. And add themselves to your contact form, and then it'll go to your email inbox, so you can see right away people have messaged you. So description, what you did, who you are, contact me here. And I used to get so many clients from me posting that one money shot. So start that way, because people only know what you do if you tell them. Are you posting pictures and things that show what you're doing? Caliente Queen. All right. Maxine says, definitely need help with putting a media and press kit together. All right. So like I said, go to PR Mommy, the PRMommy.com. You're going to get your free downloadable. But Drina is going to be putting together like templates, because it's way cheaper. Because how much does like people charge for like a media kit?
They charge a lot.
So give me a range.
That charge like $1,800.
Yeah, so that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just starting out, you might not have that. So Drina's going to be putting together templates, so that way folks can pay like a nominal fee to get that template. They can fill in their own things. Right? Because Drina has seen a lot of press kits and media kits, and you're like, girl,
don't do glamour shots.
Yes. Hire me, girl. That's not happening, right? My first one was hilarious. I think I had like a money bag. Was like, she was like, no one's going to hire you with it. All right. Chantel, I write contracts for the government, and I'm thinking of opening my own business. Did you utilize the Small Business Administration?
When we started, we didn't, but I would suggest you do. Because they can provide you with a lot of tools and resources to help you with, trademarking, payroll, things that we didn't know when we first started that I honestly wish I did. So I would say yes.
And two, building like a, it doesn't have to be necessarily like the team that works with you, but you want to start befriending other entrepreneurs, right? That helps significantly, right? So Drina is my publicist, but she's also my friend. And we have a group of us that own businesses. And actually, we just talked about, we're going to start meeting monthly, to support each other, because Drina, obviously, she's an amazing publicist. But then my other friend has a brick and mortar business, so he provides advice when it comes to that. And then I'm really good at personal finance. And then this one, so we're all kind of like merging our talents together and
to help each other.
Exactly. So that we could be like, well, girl, how did you do that? Well, how did you do this? And sharing. So that's just as important. Kind of forming your own support group with other entrepreneurs who have different skill sets. Yep. Right. Like I said, y'all, don't be shy, because Drina costs money to talk to. I was really fortunate in that today was supposed to be about money-saving moms. There was a little bit of a glitch with the expert, her computer. We weren't able to speak to each other via the computer, but I'm here in California to do a national, which is huge, commercial with a huge financial brand. So we're doing a commercial. I'm shooting it tomorrow. And Drina's here with me because not only am I doing that, but she made it happen because I was just recently on Good Day DC. She reached out and said, we're going to be in California anyway. Let's get you some press. So she reached out, and Good Day Sacramento said, come on down. And, we'd love to have you, or come on up. I'm not sure which way Sacramento is, right? So that's what's so awesome about it, is that Drina's really good at making those connections. Like, you've been here, let's see how we can spread it to here. And I would have never thought about, like, I'm only here for a few days. And here's another thing. You have to be willing to go the extra mile. So if anybody's from California, you know that Sacramento and San Francisco are like an hour and a half apart. So we're supposed to be leaving on Monday at 1. So they were like, well, we can have you 8 a.m. on Monday before you leave. So that means I had to get a car. And that means I have to get up super early on Monday.
Because you have to be there by 7:30.
Yes. Get my face done. Drive the hour and a half to do a 3 or 4 minute segment. Drive back, get on a plane, and come home. So are you willing? So getting press is not just about you're ready, you look good, you got your bullet points. Sometimes Drina will call me and be like, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, she's like 7 a.m. They're coming to pick you up. I need you to be ready. Like, get ready. Like she's had me, like, I have a stylist now. And so, like, literally, I have clothes in my closet that a budget needs to ready. I have shoes that a budget needs to ready. We have 3 makeup girls, and it doesn't have to be some fancy makeup folks that sometimes it's like a friend of a friend that does makeup. So there's like 3 of them that Drina has connected me with that we can call down the line. Lauren, are you free? EJ, are you free? Kamala, are you free? And so it's not just about getting ready as far as like I have my bullet points. Are the things surrounding you ready? Are you physically ready? Do you keep your eyebrows semi-done? right? I mean, I try. Like, I'm about to retype my hair tonight. It's a little ashy for the and outgrown for the commercial tomorrow. But like, staying ready is also really important. And like, having my tips, Drina will hit me up, and I always have a running list of tips that I can copy and paste and send to her. Oh, that's another thing. People don't realize that when you're pitching,
you're pitching your segment.
Yes.
They're not gonna say,
you're writing it.
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna say, oh yeah, come on, let's do this, this, and this. I want us to talk about this. No, you need to literally pitch the idea, but also pitch the segment in the flow. So Tiffany, a lot of times we'll pitch it just like want to have Tiffany come on and share her credit and debit tips, her top 5 or whatever. They'll say, yes, that's great, send them over. And we provide them with those tips.
Yep. I didn't realize that. Like, literally, Drina would be like, I need you to write top 5 tips for getting out of debt. And I have to write them. I'm writing my own segment. And then literally I have to spit that back out on TV. And you have to be ready. Remember that time at the Rio? Like, usually what they'll do is the co-host will be like, so Tiffany, you're here to talk about your top 5 tips for getting out of debt. So tip number 1 is to, borrow money, right? No, they were like, we're going to put it on what is that thing called?
Teleprompter.
I never read a teleprompter before. I was freaked out. We had like 10 minutes. And Drina made me practice no less than like 30 times in 10 minutes.
No, she was in there crying about that panic attack.
So I've never done a teleprompter. And I'm like, I'm thinking I'm going to have my stuff written, or they're going to alley-oop me and kind of like feed me the tips. No, I had to lead the segment. And so I'd never done that before. So literally, she took the paper away, was like, read it again. Like from like memory. So I had to practice within 10 minutes to do something I'd never done before. And I would give myself an 85, right? I did all right.
Just say a 90.
See? She don't be giving compliments. I did 85 on purpose because I knew she was going to give me high. Right? And so, no, but like stuff like that, getting ready. It's just like, it's just really about practice. All right, so we have time for just maybe a couple more questions. Okay, I'm asking for Gwendolyn. Does Drina give free product to pitch you to different companies? What do you mean? You mean like, do you give like gift products? Do you do that sometimes? You do it for your other clients, right? Like,
well, I do it for my clients. If like for instance, Puka Pure and Simple, we're getting ready to do a new mailer out to media, and because of, like I said, she's repackaging, it's going to be amazing. Get into it. So we are literally putting a package together for press with all of her new products and sending them out. So if you do have a product, or
my books, you've done that.
Your book, you have to be willing to allocate a certain amount of those to go to press. So, we maybe have allocated like 50 books at one point in time of one of Tiffany's books to send out to press.
And she'll make it look really pretty. So she'll put it in a package, the book, maybe like, like just say, I don't know, like my Budgetnista bracelets that I usually wear, like a ribbon around it, and then she'll ship it so people open the face, ooh, this is cute. And then now they're looking at your pitch a little bit more deeply. And when you email them, they're like, that's that girl that sent me that cute thing. So sending out stuff is going to be important. So Jaquita, and we'll just take just these last 2. Okay. Do you have any recommendations for a personal assistant or someone who can be a professional sounding board?
I think we kind of just covered that. You literally just have to build your network of friends. And, if you don't have like other entrepreneur friends, maybe like your sounding board is your mom. Maybe it'll be like your uncle or your cousin, whoever is in your life that you even already go to for like personal advice or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So like in the beginning, like I said, it was just me and Drina, and then my sisters, and then you grow from there as your business and stuff grows. I think we froze a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Let's see. One last one. Lori, how important is a logo?
It's very important because, there could be, I'm going to describe something real quick. There could be, this is my edge control that I use, Centonic, but everybody could have the same packaging and I wouldn't know it's yours, Lori, if it didn't have a logo, or I wouldn't know if it's Centonics if it didn't have the logo, and that's the one I use and trust. So I wouldn't know. I could just be picking another random brand. You need to have a logo to help identify your brand and product and service. It'll set you apart because people become familiar. Y'all know this, babe? Y'all know this, babe?
Why are we agonized over this, right? No, because it just like Drina said, like if someone, green, who doesn't have green? Green is a common color. But if you were to see this on something, you're like, oh, that's the Budgetnista. Logos help to identify you to folks that, one, are looking for you across the board. Like if you're, like we're in California now, really next to the hotel is a McDonald's. We knew why. We saw those M, the M.
We saw that M.
Right? We didn't even see the word McDonald's. We saw the M. We knew that was McDonald's.
We were like,
right? We didn't eat it because we were like, we trying to, get get our bodies right.
Summer's coming.
Right? Right? But we knew right away, so a logo really helps to identify.
Yes.
So again, like I said, this was supposed to be money-saving ideas for moms, but you guys got...
Sorry, ladies, I'm not her.
Right, no, but we're going to do that still. But the awesome thing is that you got to pick the brain of my publicist that has gotten me in Essence Magazine, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Good Day America, Good Morning America, The Today Show, The Real, just so many here doing this commercial for a major financial brand. Good Day DC, Good Day New York. No, what do they call it?
New York.
Is it Good Day New York?
Good Day New York.
Right? Good Day Sacramento coming up. And so just, so this is really how to build a newsworthy brand and how to prepare for when that stuff comes your way. So if you enjoyed, you already know I love good vibes. Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed. Drina's giving away a free top 10 tips to know you're ready for a publicist. It's really going to help you get your mind right about what a publicist does, if you're ready for it. And also you get to get on her email list because Drina's going to start doing regular tips for small businesses that can't necessarily afford a publicist, but still need some help. She's going to be giving away free tips. So go to theprmommy.com. Sign up for that email list so you can get your top 10 tips for free. And so when she starts giving away those free tips, you can be like, yes, right?
And just because I know probably some of y'all are like, why is it called the PR Mommy? Mm-hmm. Well, it's because I'm in PR and I'm a new mommy.
Mm-hmm. And she's rebranding. See, Drina with PR, but she herself is also rebranding. So theprmommy.com. So give us that love in the comments. Oh yeah, she said, was the cast of Real nice to you? Yes. They were so nice, honestly. They were amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head to the group real quick. Remember, this is something that we like to close our Ask the Experts with now. If you got value, and I know you did, I want you to share one major tip that you learned. I think, Drina, I think I've added you to the group. Tag Drina.
I'm in the group.
Right? Drina, DRENNA. Tag Drina Whitfield. Share that one thing that you learned and use the hashtag Ask the Expert, because we'll go in later on tonight and answer some of the questions that you might have. So go into the group right now, post one major tip that you learned tonight that was really helpful because not everybody made it. So your tip is going to help to teach them. Use the hashtag Ask the Expert and tag Drina.
Chiquita, I'm trying. Good Day Philly. I see you. I've been trying. Good Day Sacramento. It's in the 8 a.m. hour, but I believe you might be on set at 7:45.
Yeah. So, yep. All right. So again, head your way onto the Facebook group, tag Drina, use the hashtag Ask the Expert, and just let us know like the one major thing that you learned. And yeah. And I'm about to go there and actually share some of the links and stuff that we talked about. Theprmommy.com. Get your freebie from Drina. And if you want to connect with her, let's just say you're like, I am ready for a publicist, go to WHITPR.com, and you can just click contact me and just say, hey, I think I'm ready. I'd like to, maybe schedule something, which is going to cost, but still it's worth it.
And you guys can reach out to me on social too.
Yeah.
Instagram is at Drina with PR. And Facebook is Drina Whitfield. I'm in the Facebook group. All right. I hope I was helpful.
Yes, Lord. See, that's what happens. Friends come through in the clutch, y'all.